Service accommodation, Airbnb, short-term rentals, all of these are trigger words within the world of property. But one of the key things we have to think about is how can we use this business model in the world of property to make money? Well, I've been doing service accommodation, Airbnb, short-term rentals for a while now, and here's 5 different ways that I think that you could potentially implement businesses to make cash flow in this world of property. So if you're thinking that property might be a strategy that you want to get into, here are some different strategies that all need different amounts of cash flow to get started that you could get involved in. Let's go. If you want to join a community which is thriving full of different people that are doing different business models within the world of Airbnb, short-term rentals, service accommodation, then you'll definitely want to join the Past the Booking community. All you need to do to join, hit the link in the top of the description and I'll see you in there. So let's get the most obvious one out of the way, and that is the general self-management. So whether you have a property as a rent-to-rent, whether you own that property outright and you use it as a service accommodation, this self-managing model is going to be a great way to create more revenue than your traditional rentals. So rather than buy-to-lets, and in some cases even more than HMOs, you can really generate a good amount of money through using your property and using it as a short-term rental. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut to us going on a viewing for a new property where we've got multiple options for this property. It might be a rent-to-rent, it might even be a lease option agreement, we might be looking to buy this property, but you'll basically be able to see some of the different things that we're doing and what we're thinking about when it comes to taking on a property for a rent-to-rent for our own self-management. This landlord has actually reached out to us directly and they want somebody to take on the property, so whether the property is going to be something that we can work with right now, we may take it on ourselves, we may even manage it for the landlord, or we may sell this to another investor. So it's giving us multiple different options because of the different ways that we can make money with property. It's really cool to have these different tools in your toolbox, know what you can potentially do with these properties, and then be able to go from there and find a way to make money from it. So let's go in and view the property and we can take a look around and see what it's going to need. Can I just go out the back here? Just go out the back door here, please. Should have decent basement access. Obviously these have all got dormers, big dormers on there. With that, it just needs properly tanking, but we've got loads of head height space. Yeah, put it in the corner. Yeah. This is like the green room. Yeah, where the soil pipe a bit on that wall. I don't do where it's kind of. I'd have to go through the kitchen, but it's. Well, the one from downstairs I to come up, but it's the thing of it. It's the. I was thinking about putting one in that room. Yeah, I think it's just. Like, it's not worth it. Like, if you look at these kind of dormers, it'd make the room so much bigger. Like, you get them ones there and then them ones at the end. You really bring out the space of the rooms more. I think that adding en suites in would also be perfect for just if it went to families or if it went to workers or whatever anyway. So after viewing the property, obviously it's a state. It looks a little bit more like a BRR rather than like a rent-to-rent style property. Before we went into view the property, the owner actually messaged me saying that she would be open to selling it, and I had to look at some numbers there. So she wants to sell, but she didn't want to sell quite yet because of the fixed mortgage term. So this is going to be a key reason of kind of pushing it into potentially a lease option agreement where we do use the property as service accommodation. So I think that a key thing to talk about, especially when we're thinking about ways of making money in the world of property, is that service accommodation is an exit strategy. So whether you're doing rent to rent, whether you're doing buy, refurb, refinance, whether you're looking at a lease option agreement, service accommodation is the way that you'll make the property make money. It's not the way that you acquire the property. So obviously you need to think about your entrance strategy, whether you're buying a deal from a deal sourcer, you're finding one to manage, you're finding one that you might be taking on as a rent to rent, you're finding one to buy. And then that in itself there is going to give you the ability to pick the exit strategy, buy to let, HMO, service accommodation, whatever it is. But obviously our primary strategy being service accommodation, it's really key to think about what is it going to be your entry and what is it going to be your exit and what's going to match your goals within the world of property. Once we've viewed a property like that we're taking on for management for the landlord or for the person that owns the property or has control of that property, it's really important to crunch the numbers correctly so that you know the margins that you need to be making for them to make money as well. Because obviously if you're charging say a 15% management fee on top of everything, you're sorting out the cleaning, you're sorting out everything to do with the actual general running of it as a short-term rental. It's important that the landlord knows or the owner knows what kind of profits they can be expecting at different rates at different times, especially like in low season. You're going to be able to generate a lot less of a nightly rate rather than in high season where you're going to be able to generate much higher of a nightly rate. And obviously it's thinking about these things short term, longer term and different things like that. So within the Past the Booking community, we give a lot of these spreadsheets away, or people that are within our mentorship program, we give them access to these kind of spreadsheets. And it's really important to know, okay, what are the running costs in the property? How much is the mortgage payments or how much is the rent? How much is, if it's an apartment, how much is the ground rent and the service charge? In it with any property, what is the council tax? What is going to be the bills going to be? What are all these kind of general month by month running costs going to be? and then what kind of nightly rate would you expect this property to achieve in longer term marketing and shorter term marketing, to understand where these profits might be. And if you can put all that together in a spreadsheet and you can display that really nicely to the landlord, not only are they going to know where their property is expected to be and what kind of money they're expecting to achieve, but you're going to give them more confidence with this at the same time as well. Obviously, integrating systems like channel management and understanding the actual reporting side of things, of sending the investor a report of being like, okay, this is what the property's achieved this month, this has been the expenses, this has been the running costs, here we are, here's what profit you're going to receive. It is really important to be able to give that kind of clarity and transparency to people to make sure that you can stand out amongst the rest, because there's a lot of people offering management, but there isn't a lot of people offering it in a really, really good way. So if you can systemize your business and build your business out like that, it's going to be a really, really good way to take on properties, have extra properties to make revenue, and as well have no liabilities, because on your side of it, you don't own the liabilities. The landlord, the investor, the person doing the rent to rent that you're managing, they're the one that holds them liabilities there as well. In the world of service accommodation, this one might be a little bit out there, but there's a lot of other businesses which are needed that support the service accommodation business. So, photography for one. Every person's properties need marketing in the correct way, and having a good photographer can be really important. So you could set up a business specialising in that. Cleaning. Every single property is going to need cleaning regularly. If you have longer term clients, you might be getting it cleaned every 2 weeks. If you've got a lot of changeovers in between and you're doing short term guests, again, properties are going to need cleaning. Linen hire is also another one. Staging properties is another one. There is loads of different business models that surround the world of service accommodation. You can use the skills and use these businesses to support other people that are doing service accommodation, or even support your own business, and then that is going to help you thrive, create more cash flow, create more profits for you and your own company. So the next business model I want to talk about is passing bookings, and this is something that has become an absolute game changer for me and my business, and it's one that maybe people don't think about. Once you've had guests stay in your property, the chances are, if the contractors are people working away from home, they're actually going to be going to another job. So why not keep these people within your business and be able to help them out on future jobs and just take a cut and a commission from it? So we've expanded this business model even further. So we get our clients that come to us, they stay with us, and then we help facilitate their next stays and their next bookings. Because remember, at the end of the day, Airbnb, Booking.com and platforms like that, they take a 15% cut, if not more in some cases. So if you can take a 10% cut, for example, you're able to leave more in the host pocket. So it's going to be more viable for a host to take a booking through you. And it's going to be really good because they're going to want longer term bookings, and these contractor bookings tend to come for longer period of time. And then when you can build that out a little bit further, you can look at the idea of it being like, okay, let's look at this inquiry that's come through here. 2 people start for 90 days, wanting a house, they're struggling to find accommodation and they're wanting somewhere that's in Harrogate. Amazing. We've got this other one here, 20 people for a charity in Uxbridge. So once you start building out these business models and you start getting inquiries in the business, plus the repeat guests that are actually staying in your business, taking these commissions on these bookings can be a really, really viable way to generate extra cash flow into your business as well. So with short-term rentals, there is a lot of different ways to make money, and I think we've gone over some of the key ones here in this video. But is there any that you think I've missed? If there is, let me know in the comments below, and I might be able to cover them in a future video. One of the biggest things to consider with these business models is it can be a lonely game, and being a part of a community of other people that are within this space and within this business model, it is really, really important to surround yourself by them to get tips and advice, and even mentoring if you want it. So if you guys want to get involved with that, make sure you sign up to the Pass the Booking community in the link in the description. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if there's any other topics that you want me to cover, and I'll see you guys in the next one.